and live. Buy original, be original. SON.
I will continue to support small businesses to grow into large enterprises. Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Osita Boluba, declares, as the SON continues its search for unfortified sugar in Nigeria, plus a charge to importers of distribution transformers to ensure standard or risk sanctions. It's standard and new and that time of the day when we talk product quality and safety on television. I am delighted to bring the program to you and urge you to sit back and enjoy every bit of the program, your program. My name is Ifoma Okonkwo. I'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
Muna fata shekaru na da za su zo, mutanen mu za su yi la'akari da aikin da muke yi, kuma za su lura cewa ya fi cancanta ka sai abu na kwarai da ka sai abu na arha.
Ka yi meze n'obodo anyị a, ka yi mee ka ihe a na-eme n'obodo anyị a, ma ihe a na-ebubata n'obodo anyị a ọ dị mma. Anyị na-ayọ biko ka anyị jikọọ aka na asị na ofu aka adịghị ekechi ngwugwu. Ka anyị jikọọ aka ka Nigeria wee wọrọ anyị obodo.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká lajú wálẹ̀ gbogbo tá a bá máa fún wàrà ká lè pé o tó pé ojú òṣùwọ̀n. Èyí tí ò bá yé wa àgbẹ̀ tó bá mọ̀ ń pẹ̀ ẹ tó wà sọ́nà. Èyí tá a bá dẹ̀ rà tí ò bá pójú òṣùwọ̀n ẹ lọ sí Standard Organization iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ tó bá súnmọ́ yín jù ẹ lọ ṣàlàyé fún wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n á ràn yín lọ́wọ́.
Welcome to the world of standard and quality, where we offer you information on product safety and quality. The program is Standard and You.
Choose life and live. Buy original, be original. SON.
Glad to have you on the program. Last week on the program, we brought you a story on the SON's raid at various markets across the country, especially from Lagos. That exercise, we told you, is a continuous one, and here are details of the raid at other locations in Southwest and other areas in Nigeria. Please take a look.
The purpose of this visit to various markets and outlets across the country by officials of the Standards Organization of Nigeria was not only to remove unfortified sugar from the markets, but to protect Nigerians from unwholesome food. It was a rigorous and thorough exercise by men of the SON that began last week following consumers' complaint on the availability of unfortified sugar in some outlets across Nigeria. The raid is coming on the heels of the agency's activities to check the distribution of unfortified sugar. Like what happened in Lagos, tens and thousands of bags of unfortified sugar were impounded and evacuated in Ilorin and other locations by the SON.
Some people are in the habit of bringing substandard sugar into Nigeria, sugar that are not fortified with vitamin A. And we all know the importance of vitamin A to the eye. We know the importance of vitamin A to children. Lack of vitamin A can cause diarrhea and so many other problems. And Nigerian government is no more ready to fold its arms and watch these things happen in our society.
6 outlets were sealed in Ilorin, Kwara State, as the SON evacuated over 50 bags of unfortified sugar from the markets in different locations across the state. At this particular outlet, officials of the agency discovered bags of unbranded sugar packed in brown sacks. The owner claimed that the product was imported from Brazil.
This is a shop where we discover a unbranded sugar claim that is being imported from Brazil. On getting to the shop, we discovered that all the sugar that we met here is without any label. But the owner of this store claimed that this sugar is being imported from Brazil.
Attempts by some traders to stop men of the SON from impounding the product in some outlets failed, following the intervention of the police attached to the team from the Standards Organization of Nigeria. At most of the outlets visited, the agency discovered loads of branded sacks of popular local manufacturers of sugar. Although some of the traders have argued that they do not engage in rebranding and rebagging.
Somebody is having all these bags here and then we want to quarrel here that it is used. How do we know they are used?
Do you know what we normally use them? We normally put agricultural manure.
Where have they? Excuse me. Excuse me, my dear.
Yes, sir.
If we look at you, you are not less than 40 years.
Yes.
So when we are talking about issues about food, health, you should be very careful. We are government officials meant to protect you.
Yes, sir.
What we are doing here is to be sure that any child who is born in this country consumes what is right for him.
But one wonders what they do with the branded sacks of popular brands.
In the course of the raid and evacuation, there were several shops that we found a lot of empty bags, hundreds of empty bags in small shops. So what are they doing with empty bags? Is it a coincidence that in a small shop where you evacuated 150, 200 bags, that is completed bags of either the foreign or those that we confirm are rebagged, So now you find all these empty bags. So what are they doing with empty bags? They are not the users, they are not the manufacturers. So the intelligent information we have is that yes, they bring in empty bags, they bring in the foreign sugar, and because I think Nigerians are now aware that the local products are preferred, they now they rebag into these empty bags. We recommend that yes, as you use your sugar, you should also destroy the bag. Otherwise, there are chances that they could recycle the bags with wrong products, with impure and unfortified products.
According to the SON, the entire seizure have been subjected to further analysis as the search for unfortified sugar continues to protect Nigerians from unsafe sugar.
On the purity, the ICUMSA level, the local products are meeting that requirement, whereas the imported products are not meeting that. Then the vitamin A. In fact, only local products, that's the sugar, those vehicles for fortification, sugar, vegetable oil, flour, though it's only the local products that are fortified, with vitamin A.
Welcome back. The Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Osita Bolema, has restated commitment to providing small enterprises with basic knowledge and standards needed for the growth of their businesses. He gave this assurance at the National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Clinic held in Lagos.
This nationwide micro, small and medium enterprises clinic is an initiative of the Office of the Vice President of the Federation. It is in collaboration with state governments. The objective of the gathering, which brought together operators of both public and private sectors of the economy, was to explore ways of tackling the many challenges faced by operators of small and medium enterprises, SMEs in Nigeria. The Standards Organization of Nigeria is one government agency continue to demonstrate commitment to development and growth of small businesses in the country. Director General of the agency, Osita Boloma, told Standard and You this because SON recognizes that small businesses are the engine of growth of any economy.
The fight is synonymous with the fight against continual improvement on quality. Because quality is like a moving target, it evolves. As the products, as the environment changes, the standards and the quality of the goods that are expected from the SME also changes accordingly. So that's why we strive to work with them together in elaborating the standards and the enforcement of the standards so that they will grow and become more independent and blossom with time.
The event provided an opportunity for operators of small and large enterprises to network, exchange business ideas to facilitate the growth of the sector. It featured exhibition of made in Nigeria products such as food, textile, leather, cosmetics and other household items.
We are collaborating with them because without their satisfying our product, people will not believe whether our product is actually good or not. And Sun is one of the ones that we have worked with. They have told us what we need to do. We are doing that.
I'm impressed that the government is willing to have a one-on-one with us to feel our pulse, because it's about time. We've been doing this business for a long time, but no funds are available. But this shows that they're really aware of our needs and are willing to sort it out. So I'm really impressed.
I think it's the beginning of good things to come. For the federal government to take such a good initiative means that we have a hope ahead for small businesses.
The theme of MSME Clinic was diversifying the Nigerian economy by strengthening micro, small and medium enterprises.
Put an end to the frequent transformer explosions or risk sanctions. Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria tells Transformer Dealers Association. The SON boss says government will not tolerate the importation of substandard distribution transformers into Nigeria. This was at a stakeholders meeting with members of the association in Lagos. It was represented at the event by the agency's Director of Operations, Engineer Felix Inyado.
We have fake products, that is fake transformers, cables. It impacts negatively on what we do. One, the heads of our staff, they might be electrocuted. Number two, an area where you have a fake transformer, there's a tendency that the revenue from that area will be reduced. And thirdly, the cost of replacing the transformer is on the high side. So it impacts negatively on us. So we try as much as possible to see to it that when these transformers come in, there's a department we have, I&A, they go in there to see to it that it is of standard, it is not substandard. Either they go to the site where they brought the transformers in to test them with our equipment to see to it that they are okay.
Over the years, the nation has had to contend with frequent explosion of this critical infrastructure, in most cases leading to loss of vital home appliances.
Some of those challenges we face is the issue of sometimes the transformer is not designed for the environment in which it is placed. I mean, you have to look at the ambient temperature around which the transformer has to operate. So that's one of those things we normally need to check. And then when you also carry out the electric checks on those transformers, that's insulation test. You find out if it passes the test, because there are certain limits which are acceptable. The ratio test will also show you that the proper transformation is also taking place. So once those things are done and they fall within the limits after they are properly cross-checked, then we know that those transformers are okay for use.
Distribution transformer or service transformer is used for lower voltage distribution to connect end users. It's a vital technology for the distribution of electricity to consumers in a safe manner.
Most transformers entering the country, you have this insulation level of 12 kV for 11 and 36 for 33, which means that any little fault, just a little fault, above the nominal voltage of the transformer insulation will be damaged. That's the problem to the transformer. That's not the fault of the protection. Transformer will be damaged. Now, I said basic insulation level is supposed to be twice the voltage of the transformer plus 2, which transformer has the allowable space to react to those fault currents that happens. We have transformers that have a problem with that because of this insulation. That is one. Two, we have issues of transformer that the nameplate of the transformer is not that's for the transformer. I gave an example just like the transformer is 33415. They have the transformer carrying 11 kV nameplate. No manufacturer can make a mistake. We have insulation property. We have a silical gel, the desiccant, the breather. You have transformers that enter with a conservator and there is no desiccant for the transformer. You have transformer that the oil gauge There's no oil gauge, no pressure gauge, no winding temperature, or no temperature gauge. We have so many transformers. Sometimes you have a transformer that has the tap changer. It's not even functioning. It cannot the tap. You cannot even change the tap because there's only 5 taps or 3 taps. It doesn't even regulate. All such transformers, they are substandard transformers.
This meeting at the instance of the Standards Organization of Nigeria is to acquaint dealers and manufacturers of transformers with standards to curb the incessant explosions in the interest of all. The whole idea is to provide solution to the problem and ensure standards in the purchase, installation and maintenance of distribution transformers.
However, the frequent transformers explosions in many communities in recent times that pose severe risks to the citizens and electricity distribution companies' workers, the DISCOs, is of grave concern to the government of the country.
The meeting, among others, was to identify trends in service transformers market in Nigeria, create awareness on compliance with standards and certification, identify regulatory requirements for the purchase and installation of distribution transformers, and faults identification, preventive and reactive maintenance.
Every transformer look alike, and so what you see is what you buy. But we want to take it beyond that level of what you see is what you buy now. It is what you want, is what you will buy from now on. And I believe that. Why am I saying this? We are doing this to protect the interest of Nigeria and your own interest. Because if anything goes wrong with those transformers, it will not affect the DISCO office. It's going to backlash to your residents. And so it is important that we ensure that whatever we are giving the DISCO to install then is of the right quality.
SON's Group Head Electrical Electronic Engineer Richard Adewumi presented a paper on standards of the distribution transformer. He spoke on causes of transformer explosion, which he attributed to overloading of the product far and above its capacity, resulting from illegal connections.
So when we bring in transformer and we don't even know the capacity of that transformer, what do we test it to? So if you have issues and we suddenly tell you that your transformer has failed to meet requirements, it could either be because even from preliminary inspection, you have not satisfied the requirements. Because there's some basic information that guides you, even when you have to connect the transformer, when you have to maintain it, if they are not there, there is going to be a major problem.
Chairman of the Transformers Dealers Association, Frank Onyeka, commended the SON for its foresight and commitment to protecting consumers, adding that the Stakeholders Forum has exposed members of the association to basic knowledge and requirements of the standard, as the products will help boost their investments.
We are going to have a task force that's going to monitor every of our members, so that if the quality, if it does not give us the quality the son wanted, we are going to penalize the person. That's the actual we are giving son.
It's not good that we are losing money. The reason why we are here is to work in tandem, both the DISCOs, we the sellers and our representative overseas. I think with this meeting today, there's upcoming dealers. Our duty now is to go home, do a proper orientation to meet the standard that I'm emphasizing today.
Some participants bear their minds on the forum.
Carry us along so that some of the shortfalls, some of the pitfalls that we have noticed in the course of this business, we could make our recommendations for better regulations to be made.
Our take home is that you have empowered us, and your empowerment will go a long way for us to continue to make sure that standard is maintained in Nigeria.
One of the precautions steps SON is taking to stop the overloading, bringing the transformer dealers. Here we have both importers, republishers and marketers together. And here we have the regulatory agency, NEMSA, we have the DISCOs. You can see it's a complete package. Bringing them together gives the space for them to discuss and tell each other what you have to do.
The interactive session between the SON and Transformers Dealers Association is a continuous exercise aimed at repositioning the industry to check the distribution of substandard transformers in Nigeria.
The Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, brings a new lease of life to Nigeria SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards to improve made in Nigeria products for export. We have developed more standards for products like sesame, cocoa, gari, and more, courtesy of our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turned around time for SUNCAP, MANCAP, and other certification processes. SON has intensified market surveillance, raids, and seizures to reduce substandard products in circulation, and offenders shall be prosecuted. Join SON in ridding our nation of substandard products. If you see something, say something. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards.
Welcome back. You're still watching Standard and You. It's feedback time. Our first message is from Charity Nwabreze from Aba, Abia State. She says, I appreciate what the SON is doing, but please come to our aid in Aba. We are dying of adulterated products. Sad one, Charity. We will direct your message to the SON's office in Abia State for necessary actions to be taken. Our next message is from Peter Agaba from Warri. It says, I really want you to look into the issue of vitamin A fortification to save people from going blind. I agree with you, but the SON is concerned and doing a lot to rid our market of unfortified sugar to prevent blindness. Chinoso from Surulere says, I produce soap and other products. How do I register with the SON? It's simple, Chinoso. Go to our website on www.son.gov.ng where you will find an online registration portal. Zaka David from Abuja says, good day. I'm very happy for the good job you're doing. Remain blessed. Thank you for this commendation and remain blessed too. Our last message is from Good Luck. It says, to build a strong economy, manufacturers and importers of substandard products must be punished and our borders should have a good security system. Thank you, Good Luck, for this message, but this is one of the SON's mandate to bring unscrupulous importers or manufacturers to face the law. That's all we can take on our feedback segment. Do not forget to call or send messages to the number showing on your screen. Follow us on Facebook at Standard and You, Instagram and Twitter at standardandyou_. You can watch the program online at youtube.com/standardandyou. Join us next week for another interesting episode of the program Standard and You. I am Ifoma Okonkwo. See you next week.